So my wife and I first moved here from the Dominican Republic in 1992. So that makes it 27 years, I think, in total. And when we first moved here, the school was actually on 3 different locations, with the lower school and middle school being at Ulupandan, and the high school being on a facility on Kings Road. And the third facility was in the Clementi Sports Complex.
I have been working here a whopping 23 years. And I started on this new campus. I was in the cohort of the faculty that came in the very first year this campus opened.
I came here in 1988, so 31 years ago, but technically 29 years because I left for Venezuela for 2 years partway through. I was at the Ulupandan campus, and that was a gorgeous campus. It was just really quaint, very small, very community-like.
It's in the Holland Village area, if you know Pandan Valley. It's about a 5-minute drive down Ulupandan Road from Holland Village.
The Ulupandan campus was a lot smaller, a lot more quaint. Everything was like in pods, so they're all in towers, very circular. So for me, everything that's circular, there's like a sense of zen and real positive energy.
So it was originally built with an open concept in mind. The main buildings themselves were built in a circular fashion, and the internal classrooms were cut out in pies.
Our cafeteria was outdoors with water fountains, and you'd be eating, birds would be flying overhead, and it's just really a sweet little place.
Mr. Ho, that runs the middle school cafeteria now, ran it then. I have fond memories of eating in that cafeteria with little kids through to 8th graders mixed together, with an adorable lunch lady, I guess.
This present campus at Woodlands feels a lot more formal, which makes sense because it's also a much bigger campus, and just the location itself was, the location of Ulupandan was just really, really nice because it was so close to Holland Village. So you were very accessible to the city.
One of the things that's most remarkable about the plan for the campus was that from Ulupandan, the 7th grade science students, led by Mr. Early and another person named Robert Frazier, came on field trips to this campus site before it was built.
When I was teaching 7th grade science and we were told that the school was going to move out to Woodlands, none of us had ever spent any time really out here, and weren't familiar with the neighborhood at all. And so we had the whole 7th grade come out over about a 6-month period of time, maybe 4 or 5 times for half a day. It was a long excursion. And we had the kids explore this neighborhood really before any of the facilities were built.
And they found the rainforest, and they suggested that it be preserved. And that was an excellent suggestion because then the campus, the forest went all the way down to where the bridge is. So they did take some of it, but they kept that, which was pretty cool. And I remember not all the classrooms and facilities were ready. And so after rolling out the red carpet for the faculty and their families, then we pulled up our sleeves and went to work. There were 60 families that were coming in that year because the school was expanding in size. And I remember the campus had very little vegetation. In the back, the forest was preserved, but in the front, all those lovely palm trees and all the bushes and the greenery, it was mud.
And just to add on that, when the school was first built, it actually ended here at this wall. So everything beyond to the west is a new construction, newish now as of 2006 or something like that. These classrooms were not the science classrooms. We were actually down in more the middle school-ish area. This room actually was a Spanish language room, I think, and was made half again larger by taking 3 classrooms and making only 2, so that like Mr. Olson's room and mine had been 3 different classrooms.
Initially, this garden, the eco garden, was a courtyard, just like it is in elementary and middle school.
Basically all cement, and it had a few benches.
And it was very hot, and students didn't choose to sit around there. They tried to put some picnic tables, but didn't work.
So when the school expanded and we made the proposal to put this in as a green space, I think it really fundamentally changed this wing of the school in terms of having that touch with nature.
And in the center near the library, it's supposed to be trees that go all the way up to the tennis courts. But in the end, our facilities folks decided against it because there's a car park underneath, and the engineering would have been very expensive. I have seen, in building the memory garden, unfortunately, a lot of natural green space was taken. There was a pond back there that was built by Mr. Steigerwald and his 7th grade students. They dug it out and they put vermiculite there, but when the memory garden was built, that went away, and also there were several large trees that were cut down. And I know that they tried to save them, but it didn't work.
Exactly. I've seen a lot of growth. Even when I left for Venezuela for 2 years, between, I want to say 1992 to 94, Boat Key and Clark Key were not there. It's like a bunch of warehouses. And when I came back 2 years later, the whole island went through some significant changes. So it's all been good change, because as time goes on and population grows, there's a need for change in the infrastructure.
So I've been at SAS 1 year. I really enjoy the open nature of the campus. My room is directly beside one of the courtyards, and so there are often times where between classes I'll go outside and just kind of stand in the courtyard and greet students as they come in, and also just kind of enjoy being outside in the nature for a few minutes. And it's beautiful to see how everything is manicured and looks lovely, and there's always flowers blooming, and it makes it a really fun place to be and a beautiful place to be on campus.
This is my first year. There's things that I like about it. I like the sort of courtyard. I like that it's an indoor-outdoor campus. I like the greenery, right? Like when you get over to the science room and stuff like that.
Well, I think it's always great to innovate and to look at new ideas and education practices. And what I do hope is that we continue to have a green space like we have here in our ecology garden, where all of our science classrooms face onto this kind of unique green space on campus with our pond.
Yeah, I have been sort of on the periphery. I'm interested very much to conserve as much of the green spaces that we have around, and also teaching eco-garden spaces. There's many different ideas about it, and I know that there's a push to maintain as green as we can be with natural lighting inside the classrooms of a teaching garden. So, I'm one voice amongst several, and I hope to continue to advocate for conserving the garden.
Oh, I've seen the video, and it's stunning. It's gorgeous and almost surreal. It would probably rival any college in the U.S.
Yeah.
It's just absolutely beautiful. I wouldn't have a problem working in a place like that.
Just based on that, like short clip, it looks pretty cool. It's always hard to know until you walk around in the space.
From what I've seen, there's no plan to make any significant changes there. I think kind of continuing with open architectural concepts that have developed here in Singapore, having open and green spaces are a great thing.
Yeah, so I've heard a little bit about it. I've been, again, I know that the school published an internal website for information on that, and so I definitely looked through that, and it looks like a lot of really promising, the campus is good right now, but some very interesting changes for ways to improve the campus and to continue to bring in nature into the areas where students are walking and playing, and it looks like a beautiful renovation, and it'll be beautiful to see how it goes.